Hello, hello. Uta here with a cute little watering can artifact, which I'm going to keep back here with my father's shoe and the hearts that I shared with my mother. Um, yes, I think I'm going to have to do a separate video regarding the Genspect channel post of Shannon Thrace, who is a trans widow, and now more openly calls her ex-husband, whom she calls Jamie, also a pen name. Now she's using male pronouns towards him, and I'm glad that she is feeling confident enough to do this rather than the way she did in her trans widow memoir, which I think she also self-published, or maybe she was lucky enough to get a publisher. Um, yeah, she just addressed him in the second person, you this and you that, so she didn't have to deal with, that a trans widow wants to say his, him, he, etc. Um, and he was quite manipulative. He became that classic narcissist. And uh, she, anyway, I'll do another video about this. I want to be fair to her, but she did mention some certain sexual adventurousness that's in her past. And in the comments over there at the Genspect channel on the Shannon Thrace video, there are quite a few of us who have been saying, just a minute, actually, we get accused of this. When people find out what our ex has done, then we get accused that, oh, of course, you must have known about this. People would bring up Madison, Wisconsin, and of course, the presumed alternative lifestyle that I must have lived, and nothing could have been further from the truth. I was moderately religious and attended religious services with my husband. We brought our children up that way. And I think it's important to counter that when there are so few of us speaking out. So, with all due respect, some of us had to comment on that video at Genspect channel um, in under the Shannon Thrace speech, which actually she was quite eloquent. She kept it short, and she went into his emotional and psychological demise, and also the collusion of a therapist who really didn't do anything except affirm him in the first 5 minutes. But back to pronouns. Thank you with all my heart to Brendan O'Neill, chief political writer at Spiked. I am going to read his words in my trans widow voice of a piece from just a few days ago, end of January, which is titled, Her Penis, the most Orwellian phrase of our age. Nothing better captures the moral derangement of our times than this two-word lie. This is especially true when so far 20 out of 56 of us trans widows in my data were sexually assaulted by him with his penis. And none of them have been prosecuted. Brendan says, her penis is back. Just when you thought the weirdos had put it away, here it is again, flopped all over the newspapers. A trans woman allegedly played with her penis in front of two young girls, reported the Daily Echo this week. She allegedly loved exposing her penis to minors, says Portsmouth News. This 56-year-old charity shop worker is charged with exposing her penis to horrified kids, says Talk TV. Her penis, they all say, over and over like members of a lunatic cult, with no clue as to how unhinged they sound to those of us who know that the only possessive pronoun that should ever appear before the words penis, dick, todger, and knob is his. I love British slang. They're reporting on the case of Samantha Norris, who is a bloke. We all know he's a bloke because he has a cock. Mr. Norris, yes, Mr., is accused of exposing his penis, yes, his, to two 11-year-old girls. He's on trial at Southampton Crown Court. Even worse than the media's slavish, post-truth flattery of Mr. Norris's deluded belief that he is a woman is the court's indulgence of such antisocial insanity. The prosecuting lawyer said, Miss Norris is transitioning, and she has a penis, and she was naked and glorying in her nudity. No, she wasn't. He was, allegedly. Whatever happened to the truth, and nothing but the truth. It remains to be seen whether Mr. Norris is guilty of indecent exposure. He was apparently on his inside side of the window, and the girls were walking by. He probably timed it, I would imagine, for the afternoon time when children are walking home from school. It remains to be seen whether Mr. Norris is guilty of indecent exposure, but we know beyond reasonable doubt that the media, the justice system, and just about every other wing of our cursed establishment is guilty of indecent deceit. They're gaslighting us. Norris allegedly pulled down her trousers and exposed her penis at girls who were walking past the window of her home. The papers say, what? They're sacrificing truth at the altar of ideology. That might please the noisy minority who deliriously believe you can have a dick and be a woman, but it makes the rest of us think that even if they don't tell us the truth about an alleged flasher, why should we believe anything they say about anything else ever again? Nothing better captures the moral derangement of our times than those two words, her penis. It is such a false phrase, such an abominable untruth, such a cowardly utterance that's clearly designed to fend off the attentions of the mob by demonstrating one's unflinching fealty to those ideologies. That such a sexist, unscientific term now falls from the gobs of so many of the elites, the press, the police, the courts, should horrify us all, for it confirms the victory of identity over truth. It confirms that everything, even science, even logic, now plays a second fiddle to validating the self-delusion of the individual. It represents nothing less than the revenge of unreason against enlightenment. Her penis is everywhere, in newspapers of record, court transcripts. We hear of the woman who exposed her partially erect penis in a spa in Los Angeles. A lady with a boner? I've heard it all now. Swimmer Leah Thomas allegedly whipped out her penis in a female changing room. The New York Times gushes over queer indigenous artists, one of whom poses in nothing more than a grand feathered headdress with her penis arcing blithely upward. The only blithe thing here is the New York Times' haughty disregard for biological reality. Barely a month goes by without news reports of some awful woman flashing her penis, like the ex-soldier who lifted her skirt and exposed her penis before using a wheelie bin as a sex toy. I'm not quite sure what a wheelie bin is. Is it a trash can? How unladylike. Yes, viewers, please, if you know the British lingo, please let us know in the comments. Please be sure to like and subscribe. We do have over 1,680 subscribers and growing. Thank you, old stalwarts and new subscribers. The cult of her penis has conquered the legal system, too, with horrendous consequences. Her penis was erect and sticking out of the top of her trousers, prosecutors insanely say about male rapists. Last year, a man who thinks he's a woman was found guilty of rape and sentenced to 9 years in jail. Well, at least it happened because when you're the soon-to-be ex-wife, it's those prosecutions are not happening. Throughout the trial, wrote Carolyn Malone of The Express, the court referred to him as she and discussed how she used her penis to commit the rape. Have we gone mad? Yes, we have. Yes, we have. Compelling the female victims of sexual assault to refer to their attackers as she is the nadir of woke. It is a sick society indeed that values the self-esteem of rapists more highly than the right of women to tell the truth about their experiences. The delirium of her penis interferes with everything, even crime stats. When men who rape, flash, or commit other sexual offenses are flatteringly referred to as women, the truth about such crimes, that they're overwhelmingly committed by men, is obscured. Remember when the New York Times and the BBC both reported on the case of an elderly lady who murdered and decapitated another woman? I know exactly where that happened. In Park Slope. Woke Slope. She killed the woman in her apartment, they said. It wasn't until the last line of the BBC report that we discovered that this woman is in fact a man, and these are the same conceited elites who are forever sermonizing to us about the scourge of misinformation. Her penis is the most Orwellian phrase of our age. It is as offensive as reasoning that 2 + 2 = 5. Every newspaper and institution that uses this perfidious term is putting propaganda ahead of truth, like the minions in Orwell's Ministry of Truth who rewrite the old newspaper articles to make them better accord with current party ideology. They're erasing objective facts and replacing them with fabricated dogma. Worse, they witch hunt those who prefer the truth to their lies, those who refuse to genuflect to the religious derangement of her penis. They brand them TERFs and seek to harry them from polite society. Witness the cases of Maya Forstater, Rosie Kay, Allison Bailey, Joe Phoenix, and too many more to mention. And I know that Joe Phoenix and Maya Forstater have won, and please forgive me if any of the others have and I have missed it. And too many more to mention, all found guilty of heresy against the cult of her penis, against the trans delusion. Alarmingly, the left cheers this persecution of truth speaking. Witness warbling one-time radical Billy Bragg, who now spends more time haranguing women who say sex is real than he does strumming about the miners' strike. I guess he was an activist musician. I believe that employers have a right to act in such circumstances, he said. Of the outrageous sacking of children's author Gillian Phillip for the crime of supporting J.K. Rowling. Boss Class Billy, we should call him, the turncoat who went from writing protest songs to backing the capitalist class's clampdown on uppity women, like Gutagan, who protest against her penis and other modern hocus pocus. Yes, it's okay to snigger when you see her penis in the papers, but let's not lose sight of what's at stake here. Our right to tell the truth. Our right to say that measurable objective reality counts for more than the feelings of men in comedy boobs. Our right to say that if you have a penis, or if you had one and got rid of it, you are not a woman and you never will be. If freedom means anything at all, it means the right to say his penis. And I am actually relieved if he still has his penis. Do not go and change anything about that because, as we know from Alexander L. and Richie Herron, you and others, you may have terrible incontinence, you may have terrible pain, and really unbearable regret. So hold on to your penis and work on yourself, your childhood trauma, your PTSD, your childhood abuse experiences, and think about doing Uta Hagen's wellness moves in one of the chapters in the channel here to reconnect your mind and body. Thank you. And thank you, Brendan O'Neill. What a fantastic writer. I wish I could approach this.